What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews back at it again with the Hometown Take Podcast, episode 18, coming at you right now. And I'm back, and I'm back, and I'm back, yeah. And I'm back, and I'm back, and I'm back, yeah. I know, it's been a long time, but I'm back. Picked up some new jobs, so things have been crazy. I'm a trivia host, if you're wondering, by the way, right about now. I had to get something during the evening, had to get a job during the daytime too. So I've been figuring life out, trying to get to this cash money. You feel me? Got to do what you got to do. But enough is enough. I've wasted enough time. We got to get back to the Hometown Take podcast, and I'm ready to talk about your hometown teams, people. So let's do this thing. And you already know it's football season, so you gotta start off with the Falcons. So, here we go with these dang Falcons. Hasn't been a good start. Has not been a good start at all. We're 1-3, just in case you've been living under a rock or something. I mean, I've been busy, but I still been watching. Partly I've been working Falcons games too as well. 1-3. Lost last week against the Titans. We're gonna get it all to we're gonna break down all the games. We're gonna get into all of it. Trust me. The biggest thing right now with the Falcons is we're just not executing. We're not executing. The penalties are ridiculous, especially in that Colts game. Woo, just wait until we get to that Colts game. Haven't been doing the best job at stopping the run and turnovers. Penalties and turnovers are the two biggest things that have our season where it is right now. Penalties and turnovers are the biggest reason why we are at 1-3 right now. They are the biggest reason why we have not gotten off to the start we have expected to get off to. So let's just go ahead and break the whole thing down, just give you an overview of the season right now and what's gone wrong. First thing that's gone wrong, I will say, is the turnovers. The turnovers. You can't turn the ball over, especially when you haven't been turning the other teams over. Our turnover margin right now is -5. That means we've turned over the ball 5 more times than our opponents throughout the season have. Matt Ryan, 8 touchdowns, cool. 6 interceptions, not cool. Sacked 10 times, really not cool. I mean, the 6 interceptions, we can't have that. I mean, Dirk Cutter, Matt Ryan, where's this chemistry that we thought we were going to have coming into it? I mean, we're looking pretty rusty right now. I thought we would be able to get in, work out the kinks during training camp and preseason. I mean, Matt Ryan, granted, didn't play much during the preseason. That might be another reason why we're off to such a slow start, and the team as a whole is off to such a slow start. But 6 interceptions already? I mean, Matt, this is year 12, my dude. You can't be throwing interceptions like that. Not all of them were his fault again. During that Eagles game, one went off Sanu's hands. It was tipped, and it was that whole thing like it was last year, being tipped and going into the other receiver's hands. But regardless, it's still 6 interceptions, and most of them were Matt Ryan's fault. Throwing into double coverage to Julio against the Vikings, throwing to Luke Stalker when he really wasn't that open against the Colts. I mean, some of those throws just have not been good throws on Matt Ryan's part. Matt Ryan, you got to get that together. We call you Matty Ice for a reason. You got that contract for a reason. You can't be throwing 6 interceptions. You turn the ball over is not one of the reasons we are paying you. It is not one of the reasons you are a franchise quarterback right now. Get that together. Turnovers, biggest thing. The other biggest thing, penalties. We have played 4 games, people. 4 games. Not a whole season, not half a season, 4 games. We are through the first quarter of the season. As Dan Quinn, who I will have some words about later, likes to break down the season in quarters. Well, we're through the first quarter and we're not looking good, especially when it comes to penalties. Through 4 games, 42 penalties. That's right. You heard me right. 42 penalties. Look it up if you don't believe me. 42 penalties for 314 yards. Just let that sink in. 42 penalties for 314 yards. That is blasphemous, as one Stephen A. Smith would say. That is blasphemous. That is blasphemy. We should not have that many penalties throughout 4 games. That is ridiculous. 42 penalties, 314 yards through 4 games so far. 8 turnovers as a whole, 6 of them being interceptions, 2 of them fumbles we obviously lost. Another reason why we are off to a 1-3 start, the defense hasn't done such a great job of stopping the run game. And they haven't done a great job of getting turnovers. But if you could stop the run game, maybe you wouldn't have to rely on getting as many turnovers. But through 4 games, these are what our rushing totals look like. First, I'll give you our team's rushing yards per game, which is 70.3. Not terrible. Definitely room for improvement. A lot of room for improvement. About 30 yards worth of room for improvement that we like to see, but not terrible. So 70.3 yards per game when it comes to rushing. But opponents? They're rushing for a walloping 109.5 yards per game. 109.5 yards per game teams are averaging against us with their run game. And the crazy part is, it's not like our yards per attempt is that bad. We're getting 4 yards per rush. That's not terrible. I mean, that's a pretty good chunk. You run the ball 3 times, that's a first down with 2 yards to spare. And we're actually out rushing teams when it comes to yards per attempt. We're averaging 4. Our opponents are averaging 3.7. I mean, they're close, but still slightly doing better. Are we not running the ball enough? No, we're not, because we're playing from behind so much. Yeah, that's the reason. We're playing from behind so much, we can't run the ball. We have to just throw. And that's the reason why our run numbers don't look as good as they have been. The offensive line, can't say they're getting it done either. But when you got to throw the ball just to catch up, because the time is not your friend, the clock is not your friend, you won't be able to run the ball as much. And that's why our run numbers are just a wee bit skewed. And that's why Devontae Freeman's numbers, if you look at his numbers are a wee bit skewed. All right. So that's the overall picture of everything. That's going to be the whole point at the end of the day, at the end of this podcast, is that too many penalties, too many turnovers, and not creating enough turnovers and not stopping the run. Big overview there. But let me give you reasons why these are the biggest issues. Week 1 against the Vikings. Run game and turnovers killed us. Our run game kill us? No. The Vikings run game killed us. Dalvin Cook had a field day with us. And I'm feeling a little bit guilty because I'm kind of happy that happened. Not happy because of the loss. Definitely not happy because of the loss. But guilty pleasure. Play fantasy football. Dalvin Cook's on my fantasy team. He had 111 yards off of 21 carries, 2 touchdowns. Had a good day fantasy-wise. Won that matchup. But I would have rather taken a fantasy loss. I will any day take a Falcons win over a fantasy loss. Fantasy losses, I can deal with. Falcons losses, they stress me out and they make me really mad. So, Vikings run game. Again, Dalvin Cook, 21 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. The total team rushing for the Vikings, 38 carries, 172 yards, 4.5 yards per carry. That is crazy. We're not going to win a game like that. Kirk Cousins did not even have to throw that many passes. I think he threw, 10 passes? And of course he didn't throw that many passes because all you had to do was run the ball to get a first down, and all you had to do was run the ball to score. Any smart team, any smart coach, any person with any football sense wouldn't have thrown the ball just like the Vikings didn't, because you didn't have to. It's safe. So that was one. Run game against the Vikings. Our run defense, piss poor. Sorry. That's just what it was. Got to call it like I see it. Terrible. Turnovers. Also killed us. Matt Ryan throws 2 interceptions. Can't have it. Can't have it. Devontae Freeman, early on in the game, lost a fumble. Can't have it. Can't have it, especially when your run game or your run defense can't get a stop. Can't stop Dalvin Cook. Giving up 4.5 yards per carry. Definitely can't have the turnovers. Can't shoot yourself in the foot when the Vikings are already shooting you all over. Oh, and the Vikings? Yeah, they had no turnovers. Yeah, none. Zilch. Nada. Zip. No turnovers. We had 3. They had 0. Yeah. When that happens, you're going to lose. When the team you're playing against has no turnovers and you have 3 turnovers and the team has 38 rushing attempts for 172 yards and one running back has 21 carries for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns, and you have 3 turnovers and your quarterback is sacked 4 times for 32 yards and you only get 1 sack as a defense for 1 yard, yeah, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. I mean, you're going to lose. Simple as that. So that's what happened against the Vikings. Bright spot, Ito Smith looked good. He was a nice change of pace. He's looked pretty good all season. But didn't get a W. Was still an L. Still starting off 0-1. So just to recap the Vikings game, Dalvin Cook murdered us. Turnovers, double murdered us. Offensive line didn't help. Matt Ryan was on his back a lot of the game. Couldn't really get to Kirk Cousins. Sacked him 1 time. I mean, that's cool. 1 time for 1 yard, I guess. Vikings, no turnovers. And penalties. Didn't even touch on penalties. Can't really touch too much on penalties, though, because the Vikings, I mean, they had some struggles themselves. But when you don't turn the ball over and your run game is going well, you can afford to have 11 penalties for 100 yards, which is what the Vikings had. But when you turn the ball over 3 times, you can't get the run game going. Your quarterback is sacked 4 times for 32 yards, and he throws 2 interceptions. You can't afford to have 9 penalties for 78 yards. You can't. You got too much going bad for you already. So I think I said enough as to why we lost week 1. But it was week 1. You were rusty, I guess. Didn't play much in the preseason, I guess. Vikings do have a good defense. I will tip my hat to the Vikings. They do have a outstanding defense. So I'll give you that. Okay. Still, can't have those penalties. Matt Ryan is a great enough quarterback, former MVP. You don't need those 2 interceptions. You don't expect him to throw those two interceptions, even against the Vikings. The sacks, okay, you don't like them, you don't want them, but you understand them. You understand them a little bit because that Vikings front 7 is ungodly manly. So, okay, there are some things you can understand, but still, it's a bad loss. And still, Dalvin Cook shouldn't have completely murdered our defensive line like that. Tack, Vic, Grady, where y'all at? I'm looking for you. Didn't see you that much the first game. Actually, let me take that back. Grady had a great game the first game. Everybody else, questionable. Moving on to week 2. Week 2 against the Philadelphia Eagles. We got the win. It was good. We got the win versus Philly at home opener. Great stuff. You want to know why we got the win? You want to know why we bounced back? You want to know why after week 2 we were 1-1? The O-line actually played well. They actually did what they were supposed to do. Matt Ryan only sacked 1 time for 10 yards. You can live with that. You can bounce back from that. We had turnovers, but we also created turnovers. Matt Ryan, not a good game again. I mean, in the aspect of turnovers, not a good game. Threw 3 interceptions. Had 3 touchdowns, but threw 3 interceptions. But the defense helped him because we picked off Carson Wentz twice. Desmond Trufant picked off Carson Wentz twice. Was very happy to see that. Very promising to see that. Haven't really seen much since, but well, actually, we're not gonna let it go. We're just gonna talk about it later. We're gonna push it back. Just push it back a little bit. But at that time, I was happy to see Desmond Trufant to get 2 interceptions because you really haven't heard anything from Desmond in a while. I mean, I don't know if people just aren't throwing his way, which is a good thing. But nonetheless, you were happy to see the 2 interceptions from Desmond Trufant. And you also got to Carson 3 times for 18 yards. So, okay, that's pretty good. Got 3 sacks on him, picked him off twice. You recovered a fumble by Corey Clement. Sherrod Neesmith, the one that picked that fumble up. So that was good. The point is, you created turnovers. You can have turnovers, but you got to get them back. And that's what we did. We had 3 turnovers. We forced 3 turnovers. Well, we forced 2. That nobody forced that Corey Clement fumble. We just recovered it. But it's still good. 3 turnovers and 3 turnovers. It equaled out. Weren't plus in the turnover margin like we want to be and like we strive to be and like we need to be. But you did what you had to do to get the victory. 3 turnovers and 3 turnovers. So already off the bat, O-line played better. Matt Ryan only got sacked once. And the turnover margin. You didn't win it, but you didn't lose it. So you're already better off than you were in Minnesota. No sacks. And didn't lose the turnover margin by 3. Team still only rushed for 57 yards, though. That's not good. You want to get that run game going. So offensive line did well in the way of not letting Matt Ryan get hit, but got to do better in that run offense as well. But another reason you won the game is because you made plays when you needed to make plays. Falcons only had 3 third down conversions. They were 3 for 10, but they were big third down conversions, and they converted that 1 4th down when they needed to. You made plays when you needed to make plays. Rico Allen had that big hit in the end zone to draw the ball loose and stop the Eagles from scoring. Obviously, Desmond Trufant had the 2 interceptions. We had the fumble recovery by Sherrod Neesmith. And, of course, we had that boy Jet Jones take off on them, boy. Julio ran off on them Eagles, boy. He ran off on the plug on them guys, boy. That 54-yard game-winning touchdown catch. Love to see it. And I was there, too. Ooh, boy, I know. Oh, man, I was hyped. And you know who was an Eagles fan? Simone Stanley's an Eagles fan. Simone with the sports? Yeah, her? Yeah, she's an Eagles fan. We were at the game together. Boy, I was talking some mess all game long. Well, there were some ups and downs, but at the end, got the last laugh. That's right. But enough talking junk. We made plays when we needed to. That was the difference. No sacks. Didn't lose the turnover margin. And we made big plays when we needed to. That is why we won week 2. So, at this point, we're 1-1. Moving on to week 3. Oh, week 3. Week 3 at Indy, playing the Colts. The Andrew Luckless Colts. Jacoby Brissett's like, Andrew who? Who's that? I'm Jacoby Brissett. And the Falcons learned that day that he was Jacoby Brissett. 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, only sacked once. Jacoby Brissett. That's his stat line. Matt Ryan didn't have a bad game. Had the 1 interception, trying to throw to Luke freaking Stalker for whatever reason. But nonetheless, he had 3 touchdowns, that 1 pick, 304 yards. Not a bad game by Matt Ryan either. But even before I get to the most frustrating thing about that week 3 loss against the Colts, Devontae Freeman had a promising game. Looked good. Good signs. 16 carries for 88 yards. Team, 20 attempts for 93 yards. And we outrushed the Colts. Marlon Mack did a pretty good job containing him. 16 carries, only 74 yards. Team, 24 attempts, only for 79 yards. Defense stopped the run a little bit better. So, okay, we look good. Defense looking better. Stopping the run overall. All right. We're in the game, doing good. But wait. We decided to shoot ourselves in the foot constantly that game. 16 penalties for 128 yards. Yeah. If you could see my face, it'd be like the upside down smiling emoji. Yeah, it's that. That's the mood right there. 16 penalties for 128 yards. That's the reason you lost right there. That's the sole reason. That's the sole stat. That's it. That's the tweet. 16 penalties for 128 yards. Oh, you want to know how many penalties the Colts had? 4 penalties, 39 yards. 16 penalties to 128 yards to 4 penalties for 39 yards. Yeah, all right. That's it. That's the tweet. That's why you lost. We even did a great job converting on third downs. 80% third downs. 8 for 10. Passing game, we exploited some things, man. Julio Jones, 8 receptions for 128 yards, a touchdown. Mohamed Sanu, 6 receptions for 75 yards. Austin Hooper, also on my fantasy team, was the one bright spot for the day. 6 receptions, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. Won that matchup as well. But again, I would rather take the fantasy loss than this god-awful loss that we had. What makes it god-awful is we only lost by 3. We only lost by 3. And you got to think, if we take away just half of the 16 penalties for 128 yards, we take away half of that, we probably win this game. Yeah. 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 So, if you're wondering why we lost the week 3 matchup against the Colts, one reason, penalties. We beat ourselves. The Colts didn't beat us. We beat ourselves. Jacoby Brissett, don't get me wrong, no disrespect, had a great game. And has done a very nice job filling in for Andrew Luck, but we beat ourselves. I still, to this day, don't think the Colts are better than us. We beat ourselves. I mean, you heard it. I'm going to say it one more time because it makes me mad the more I talk about it. 16 penalties for 128 yards. That's why we lost. We shot ourselves in the foot all day long, killed drives all day long, put ourselves back and down in distance all day long, and we tried with the third down conversions. We had some big third down conversions, some long third down conversions, but you keep shooting yourselves in the foot. Sooner or later, you're not going to be able to walk anymore. And that's what happened. Now, moving on to just an overall bad team performance. Last week, this past Sunday, at home against the Tennessee Titans. We made Marcus Mariota look like he was back in freaking Oregon. He was in Eugene again. 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Matt Ryan didn't have a good game. Actually, he did have a pretty good game. Didn't throw any touchdowns. Not much to show for it, though. Didn't turn the ball over, though. So that's gotten better as the season has progressed. His interceptions has gone down each game. So that's good. Besides the Eagles loss. But one of those weren't on him. So we'll still say it got better. But Matt Ryan, 397 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, though. Big thing again, though. Offensive line, you played well against the Eagles, but other than that, haven't really played well. Right now, that Eagles win is looking like a pretty fluky win. Julio kind of bailed us out there because Matt Ryan got sacked 5 times for 33 yards. Yeah, 5. Can't do much if you're on your back as a quarterback. Oh, how many times Marcus Mariota gets sacked? None. Yeah, none. 0. Yeah, 0. Nah, he didn't get sacked. Couldn't get any pressure on him, really. Oh, you want to know about the run game? Well, I'll tell you about our run game. 12 carries for 28 yards. That's Devontae Freeman. Why he couldn't run the ball as much? Why only 12 carries, you asked? Oh, because we were down most of the game. Playing catch up most of the game. Most of the second half. How much did the team run for, you asked? Oh, 17 attempts for 58 yards. Not good. Not good at all. Oh, how many rushing yards did Derrick Henry have? Oh, he had 27 carries for 100 yards. Yeah, kind of Dalvin Cookish. Yeah, couldn't really stop Derrick that much. And the team, you ask? Okay, 34 attempts, 138 yards. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. So, couldn't stop the run game. Couldn't stop Marcus Mariota. Couldn't stop freaking A.J. Brown, rookie wide receiver, looking like Julio out there. Looking like Antonio Brown before he got caught up in all that mess. I don't even want to get into that. Antonio Brown, just go somewhere. Just leave. That's the only thing I'm saying on that. Just mind your business. Go back. I'm glad you're in school. Get your life back together. Anyways, team overall just didn't play well. We did tone it down. The penalties, thank goodness. I mean, I don't see how you go anywhere but down from 16 penalties. I mean, if you have 17 the next week, somebody got to go. That's just plain and simple. Somebody got to go. But they only had 7 penalties for 50 yards. Not bad. Titans actually had more penalties, 5 penalties for 77 yards. So, thank goodness that wasn't a repeat thing. But overall, team just didn't play well. Titans outplayed us. 24-10 loss at home against the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, that was a thing. And that's been our season so far. Yeah, great, right? No. But how do we bounce back from this, you ask? And how do we, more importantly, win next week against the Houston Texans in Houston in NRG Stadium? Well, I'm going to tell you. First things first, you can't beat yourselves. You got to take away the stupid penalties. You can't have all these holding penalties. You can't have all these false starts. You can't have all these illegal formations, illegal shifts. That's ticky-tack pity stuff. You got to at least be able to get the playoff and get the playoff right and execute the play the way you're supposed to execute it. Stop holding. Get effing set, like Matt Ryan says. And just execute. This offense can be great. It has all the components to be great. You have a first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver in Julio Jones, who's happy. He's got his check. He's really been doing his part. You got a young up-and-coming wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. You got what looks to be a Pro Bowl tight end from now on in Austin Hooper, who's played well thus far, shown that he's going to be important in this offense. And Matt Ryan has shown that he's going to get the ball to him in this offense. And you got Mohamed Sanu, the man who doesn't go as much talked about, one of the best number 2, if not the best number 2 wide receiver in the game right now. Takes all the hits, makes all the catches that you need. We got all the components. We got Devontae Freeman, who looks to be back, but we can't run him if we're playing from behind. So that leads me to my next point. We got to start fast. We can't have these slow starts. We need to start fast. And I know that's like beating a dead horse, saying we need to start fast, but we do. Next game at Houston, I know the analytics people and all that stuff like to double dip. I personally like to double dip, but right now, your team just needs a jump start. You need a jolt. You need to go. You need something. So if we win the coin toss on Sunday in Houston, we need to take the ball, go down and score. At least start with a lead. I don't even care if it ends up in 3 points. I mean, I want it in a touchdown, but we just need to go down and score some points on Sunday. Start with the lead. Start fast. Also, offensive line. You got to bring it. You got to play better. Protect Matt Ryan. Keep him off his back. And then let Devontae Freeman get some running lanes. Open up some holes for him. He can do some things. You see he has 16 carries, 88 yards. He looks pretty promising right now. But we got to give him opportunities. We got to give him... I want Devontae Freeman to at least be able to have 20 carries. And he can get 20-plus carries if we're not playing from behind. Establish the run. If we establish the run, we're going to be nasty. Our offense is going to be near unstoppable. So, keys to victory Sunday against the Texans in Houston at NRG Stadium. Don't shoot yourselves in the foot. Don't want any more than 4 or 5 penalties. No more than 4 or 5 penalties. Start fast. We win that coin toss. Let's take the ball, go down, and score. And establish the run. Get Devontae Freeman going. Devontae Freeman, Ito Smith. Let's let them boys eat. I know they got to be hungry. Let's let them eat. That's what we got to do on Sunday. And the defense, create some turnovers. Let's go back to that, what we had going against the Eagles, and create some turnovers. I know the Eagles were injured. I don't want to hear that against the Texans. Create some turnovers. Maybe you just got bailed out against the Eagles. I don't know. Deshaun Jackson didn't play. Alshon Jeffrey didn't play. Prove me wrong. Prove me that you can do it against a fully healthy Texans offense, which is pretty good, by the way. Deshaun Watson, Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins, of course. Carlos Hyde has been running the ball pretty well. But create some turnovers. Do not let Deshaun Watson create some plays on y'all behinds. Contain him. Keep him in the pocket. Do not let him run around and do whatever to y'all and shred y'all up. And with that being said, our front seven, our pass rush, you got to get to Deshaun Watson. You leave him back there all day, our DBs can't cover forever. No DBs in the NFL can cover forever. That's just too much to ask on defensive backs. And the league is shifted too much towards offense these days for DBs just to be covering for 7 seconds. So we got to get to Deshaun Watson. When we get there, we got to finish it. Finish the sack. Finish the tackle for loss. We got to tackle well. Deshaun Watson's a slippery young man. He can get away from me. He's elusive. He's got some speed. He can run. But you got to get to him. So you got to finish plays on offense and defense. You got to win the line of scrimmage on offense and defense. On offense, hit him in the mouth, push him backwards, and let Devontae Freeman, Ito Smith, let them boys get going. Defense, same thing. Hit him in the mouth, push him backwards, put Deshaun Watson on his back all day long. Don't let him get away. Don't let him run around and just make deep throws and let him get out of trouble with his legs. Get to him so DeAndre Hopkins can't eat you up. So Will Fuller can't go past you going deep. So Carlos Hyde can't run all over you like Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry did. You got to be mean, be physical, be tough, be fast. Everything Dan Quinn says this defense can be, it needs to be on Sunday because you can't go 1-4. Oh, by the way, every team in the division last week won. So we're in last. Carolina and Tampa Bay sit at 2-2. New Orleans 3-1. You need to win next week. Point blank, period. All right, I'm done talking about the Falcons. That's enough of the Falcons for now. But in a little bit more exciting news, our Bravos in the playoff. 97 wins. 2018 NL East champions back-to-back, boy. We defended the East. I'm proud of my boys. There was a tweet out on Twitter that showed every single baseball analyst, not every single, but every single one, I think from ESPN or some network, and they in the preseason before the baseball season started, picked who they think was going to win each division in the wild card spots. The Braves were on that list. They weren't on the wild card list, I don't think, and they weren't even on the division list. They definitely weren't on the division list. No analyst from whatever network it was, doesn't matter, because they were all wrong. No analyst picked the Braves to win the division again. No, they didn't pick the Nationals or the new look Phillies, who didn't even make the playoffs. Ha! The Phillies didn't even make the playoffs. Nats, they just won the wild card game, so hats off to them. They're going to play the Dodgers. But the Braves, we won the division. Handedly. Did what everybody thought we weren't going to do. Proved them wrong. So let's prove them wrong some more. Let's go out there Start fast against the Cardinals tomorrow, 5:02 on TBS. Go check them out. Check my boys out. Go watch them. Listen to it if you're in the car, wherever. And let's back our team so they can take this run all the way to the World Series. Acuna, 41 home runs, 101 RBIs. Freddie Freeman, 121 RBIs, 38 home runs. Season high for him. Obviously, that's a season high for Acuna, too. Ozzie playing well. Dansby's back. Josh freaking Donaldson. What? Let me give it up for Josh Donaldson. Way to protect Freddie Freeman. Way to just add to this lineup and give us a cleanup man we never knew we needed. Actually, we did know we needed it, but goodness gracious, Josh Donaldson, great year from Josh Donaldson. Great signing by AA Alex Anthopoulos too. That looks to be, if we win the World Series, that's the signing of the year. I mean, you gotta think between him and Dallas Keuchel, who's gonna start Game 1 of the NLDS, by the way, tomorrow, 5:02 on TBS. If I didn't mention it already, but that Josh Donaldson signing, I mean, he just protected Freddie Freeman so well, had some clutch games, some walk-offs. I mean, Josh Donaldson looked to be back in his Toronto days, threw it back to those Toronto days when they were winning with the Blue Jays. Just a great year out of Josh Donaldson. Man, needed that. Great signing by Alex Anthopoulos, and Josh Donaldson came through, man. So now, it begins. You got through the first journey. That's making it to the dance. Now you got to dance, and you got to dance better than all these other teams. Got to move them hips, tango better than the rest of them. And it starts tomorrow with the Cardinals. Got to get some clutch hits. That bullpen. All right. Hey, Shane Green. Mark Melancon. Got to get it done. Got to get it done. The whole bullpen as a whole, we got to get it done. Starters, we got to get it done too. Dallas. Folty, if Folty's going to be your starter. Soroka, you guys got to get it done. Max Fried, got to get it done. Starters, the ideal situation is for you guys to go 7. You guys go 7, then we put out Chris Martin, followed by Shane Green, followed by Mark Melancon. That's the ideal situation right there. 7, give up no more than 3 runs. Hopefully our offense has more runs than that by that time. Martin shut him down. Shane Green shut him down. And Mike Melancon close it out. Shut the door on him. That's the ideal situation. Not every game's not going to go like that. I mean, it'd be great if it did. Historic if it did. But we know not every game's going to go like that. They're going to face adversity. There are going to be times where maybe the starter has to get pulled out early. That's when guys like Josh Tomlin, Sean Newcomb, other guys from the bullpen got to come in, maybe even Luke Jackson. You guys got to come in and be ready. Bullpen has got to be ready, and you got to come through. Got to get those outs when we need you to. Sometimes you might have to get out of sticky situations. But that's what this is all about. It's October. Pitching is key. Yes, offense has become a bigger and bigger part of baseball for these past couple of years. But still, pitching is going to win us that ring we haven't got since 1995. It's the big time now. I know my Braves are ready for it. I'm ready for it. I'm pumped, and it all starts tomorrow. So let's get it, Braves. Defend the ATL. And our batters, we got to come through clutch, but we have all year. So I believe if it comes down to it, comes down to our bats, I'm feeling confident. Freddie, Acuna, Ozzie, Josh, Dansby. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. Brian, B-Mac, he's had some walk-offs too. Can't forget about him. We'll get it done. We got the offense to get it done. Our starting pitching has the potential to get it done. Has shown they can do it. Our bullpen has shown they can do it as well. But we just got to do it when it counts. So let's get it started, man. I'm hyped, boys. Playoff time. Let's do it. Whew. Hopefully they give me something good to watch because, man, I'm tired of seeing the Falcons lose. And the Falcons, hopefully they bounce back. But like I said, Nah, we're not gonna get it already. I got a smile on my face right now talking about the Braves. Don't want to get it back frowning because of the Falcons. But hopefully our Falcons will bounce back. Hopefully our Braves make a deep run in the playoffs all the way to the World Series and win the ship, the mothership of them all. But time will tell. Also, basketball season getting started soon. Preseason has already begun, and our Hawks play their first preseason game in Atlanta, 7:30 on Monday on NBA TV. Guess who they're playing? Zion Williamson and the Pelicans. That's right. Zion and those boys are coming to town. Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, all those guys coming to town to take on Trae Young, John Collins, new Hawks, Cam Reddish, and DeAndre Hunter. It's gonna be a good matchup. Gonna see our boys in preseason. Ready for that season to start too, man. It's gonna be a great NBA regular season. So wide open because of the crazy off season. Same faces in new places. It's going to be a good regular season. And I think it's going to be a good season for our Hawks. Like I said, I've said in another podcast, I'm going to say it in this one. Hawks are going to make the playoffs. Period. Our Hawks are going to the playoffs. We're going to shock some people. We're going to shock the world like we did back in 2008. And even though we didn't win against the Boston Celtics, who went on to win the NBA championship, we took them to 7 games, though. They felt us. Oh, yeah, they felt us in that 7-game series. But the Hawks going to have a special season this year. We're going to make the playoffs, and it's going to be up from there. Trae Young, John Collins, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter. We're going to do some things. So y'all be ready. Hawks making the playoffs. I'm calling it right now. When they make the playoffs in April, best believe I'm taking this sound bite and I'm posting it on Instagram. So you're going to hear it again. That way. But just to recap, Falcons struggling. But the season's not over yet. But it starts with the win on Sunday. Got to take it a game at a time. Can't have these penalties. Can't shoot ourselves in the foot. Defense has got to play the run better. Got to be able to stop the run. Create some more turnovers. Pressure the QB. We got to limit our turnovers. Matt Ryan got to stop throwing those interceptions. Got to get our run game going. That helps if we stop playing from behind so much. And we just got to be physical, hit teams in the mouth, win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football. We start doing those things, and we'll win some more games. We'll be okay. Braves. Playoffs getting started, baby. Let's go. Let's win this ship. Let's bring one back to the ATL. Atlanta United did it last year. It's y'all turn. Let's get it. It all starts Thursday. Dallas Keuchel taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Hopefully we get off to a good start and win game 1. It's going to be at SunTrust Park in Atlanta. Come through if you can. And Hawks preseason getting started Monday, this upcoming Monday at 7:30. You can catch that game on NBA TV. And Georgia State, shout out to Georgia State one time, got their homecoming versus Arkansas State, 3:30 on Saturday. Atlanta United, and other news and notes, playing their last regular season match of the year as they take on the New England Revolution. Going to be producing that game for Sports Radio 92.9 The Game Miami. That's right. Countdown to kickoff going to start at 3:30, and the kick is at 4. So hopefully our Atlanta United can lock up that 2 seed and be ready for the MLS playoffs. It's going to be interesting. Got a lot of things going on right now in our hometown, Atlanta, Georgia. And it's all special. I know it was a long time since I talked to you guys this time. I promise it won't be as long when I talk to you the next time. But until then, peace.